AFC.
AFC. Our second home.
Our second home, man.
Our second home, man. And it's
good to be back.
Good to be back. Because the news that I bring you folks is that not one but two teams have officially qualified from the AFC region. Let me congratulate them. Japan has qualified. Japan is through to the World Cup.
Japan, baby.
So happy. I think they'll be a great watch at the World Cup. And secondly, today, Iran qualified automatically after drawing against Uzbekistan. Iran is through.
Iran is through.
Congratulations. Big moment. Iran is back at the World Cup. These are two teams that I think have become a routine expectation of what to see from Asia at the World Cup. So congratulations to both of them. But we did have 2 rounds of football happen in Asia. Big, major rounds, as now all these teams sit at 8 games played out of 10. What were the biggest takeaways, my friend?
I mean, let's start with Japan's group. And Japan specifically, 24 goals scored, 2 goals conceded. That's it. A 22-plus goal differential, total domination. And they booked themselves a spot to the World Cup. Here's what's interesting about Japan, though. We said at the beginning of this World Cup campaign that they weren't really going to be tested. Saudi Arabia have completely dipped in form. So have Australia, by the way. You look at the other teams in their group, and they are teams that have never proved themselves at this stage. Bahrain, China, and Indonesia. And so it was almost set for Japan to dominate. We saw the performance a year ago at the AFC Asian Cup, and it was very underwhelming. And I'll be honest, man, even in this group, I've been a little underwhelmed at times with Japan. In the sense that when they do face the tight teams in Australia and Saudi Arabia, they don't really dominate them. It's actually really tight. And if anything, there's been a couple of draws that go Japan's way against these tighter opponents. And my worry is, in 2022, we saw Japan really light up the stage. Showcase themselves against Spain, against Germany, and even have a really good knockout stage appearance. They fail miserably at the AFC Asian Cup. And with these tight results against Saudi Arabia and Australia, I'm now worried that when Japan do play against a very good team at the World Cup, they're not going to have what it takes to actually overcome that challenge. And so I just think that this qualification numbers are a little bit misleading when it comes to Japan's actual form. They're a very good side. They're the best in Asia. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I just think Japan aren't any better than they were 3 years ago.
Yeah, here's how I interpret the information. They're getting cocky. I think they're getting cocky. Today, going into the Australian match, they were already qualified through to the World Cup, and we saw half the team get subbed off at halftime, man. Like, they're getting very cocky. I think they've ran themselves this entire tournament as very clearly, knowingly, the best team in Asia, knowing that they're going to get by. From one perspective, I understand that cockiness, the comfort that they have in this region, because they ultimately do have that. But I mean, Argentina was qualified going into the Argentina-Brazil game, and they showed out.
Right.
So I understand your criticism.
That's my point.
You have to take advantage of these games, bro. You have to take advantage of competitive matches, no matter who it's against, and go all out. I mean, we jokingly brought up at the beginning of their campaign, do they score over or under 35 goals? It was because they started off with that fire, with that want, that motivation. They're not going to get there in 2 games. They're 11 goals behind now from that mark. And it does worry me because I want good things for this Japanese team. But I do feel that same sentiment, that same anxiety is there because I don't think they're approaching these games the right way with the right mentality that the big major teams in world football do. And that worries me. So all I can say is that, or all I can hope for is that, you know, that cockiness shows itself at the World Cup, and they show us why they were so confident in the group stages of the World Cup qualifiers, why they were so confident they would be able to overcome these big teams. They show us that on the biggest stage. Otherwise, I'm going to look back at this as a sign of what was to come, which was ultimately disappointment if they don't show out at the World Cup.